Someone mentioned that they are finding themselves being more creative now since being on this journey. And this is something that is very exciting. This creativity starts flowering in our life. Literally everything is creative. Now, when we thought of creativity before, we thought creativity, yeah, but that's for the painters or the musicians, the artists. Those are the creative ones. But actually, creativity is our nature. As we start experiencing our true nature more and more on this journey, we find that we are becoming more and more creative. I sometimes refer to this transformation as living an inspired and creative life. That this creativity is inspired. It feels like you just can't help it. That it's just coming through. In a way, it feels, not that I would know firsthand, but it feels like you're pregnant with the creative potential and it needs to be birthed. And you will notice that if you try and fight this, you will not win. So there's more and more surrendering to your nature. You start really getting a sense for this creative potential by really listening to your heart, tuning into your heart. And it's experienced as a vibration, just a rawness, a raw energy that is kind of like an impulse. It's inspired. And it wants to come out. And by listening to your heart, by being in tune with it, surrendering to this natural flow, this natural creative flow, you find that whatever you're doing is creative. And it's effortless. So like this, you start listening to your heart and you start surrendering to your heart by just simply allowing this creative impulse, this creative potential to be actualized, to be expressed. whatever you are doing is fully enjoyed. You're actually in love with creativity. This creativity is your nature. There's the experience of love. There's the experience of love for whatever you are creating. And whatever you're creating is fully enjoyed, but there's no attachment to it. Whereas previously, when we were trying to be creative, there was so much effort and thinking about the goal and when am I going to arrive at the destination and the judgment that's not perfect and all of these kind of hang-ups, these limitations. But now you start experiencing that it's more of the love of the process. That you're just enjoying the process of creating. And it's fulfilling in itself. That you're not worried about the end result. In a way, if someone were to basically just say, hey, that project that you're working on, that book, that video, that cake, that garden, well, that's never going to see the light of day. So all of that process that you're working on, it's a complete waste. If someone were to say that, this hypothetical situation, it wouldn't make any difference to you because you so thoroughly, so fully enjoyed that process. It wasn't seen as a means to an end. So you start experiencing this creativity in a few areas of your life, but then you start feeling that these areas are not limited to just this area or that area. Your whole life starts becoming more and more creative. And like I said, it's ordinary things. It's not just painting or knitting or gardening or cooking. Everything is creative. You can clean creatively. You can drive your car creatively. You can walk to get the mail creatively. You can mow your lawn creatively. Everything. Can be creative. That actually in this process of creating something, you're actually seeing that it's actually no different than meditation. It's just seen as a dynamic meditation. Because really, meditation is what we are, not what we do. And by experiencing this creativity, you are experiencing your true nature. For many, it's just unknowingly. And that's why we always kind of point to something greater than ourselves. We say, something just came through me. There's like a download, and it just had to be expressed. That book just wrote itself. It's like I wasn't even writing it. And we say things like that. When I was playing the music, it's as if this body was an instrument. And it was as if something was using this body to sing. Because I don't know where that came from. We point to it with these type of sayings. But we're really experiencing our true nature. You find as you are becoming more and more meditative in the midst of daily living, you can't help but be creative. At the start of the journey, we might have had these ideas of meditation. Oh, meditation, that looks like you're just going to sit looking like the Buddha and watch life just pass you by. And it's pretty passive to just sit. That would be a judgment and the wrong idea of what meditation is. But now experientially, you start finding that you're more and more calm and tranquil, happy, and you are experiencing this creativity, this playfulness. That really, whatever wants to come through, you actually experience it as a love affair, that you're in love with whatever you're creating, that you're experiencing love. So sometimes people even point to this experience as, they'll say it's like an obsession. But they're pointing to really this devotion to the craft, whatever it is, the gardening or the knitting or the painting or the singing or the whatever it is. It's really you're in love with it. But when you look at it more and more, you're not in love with just the activity or just the object that you are creating. But when you really look at it, you're in love with creativity itself. And creativity is our nature. This love for creativity is the love for yourself. You're just finding yourself or experiencing yourself, we should say, in the midst of that creativity, in the midst of that creative endeavor. It's quite literally your pathway. And if you contemplate this and you check it out for yourself, you can say, oh, yeah, I've never really looked at it that way. When I'm baking, yeah, I forget who I am. And there's so much joy and ease, peace, freedom, and love that I'm experiencing. In that moment, I'm fulfilled. That I'm creating from that fullness. That's what I was telling you is it's like a pregnant potential. It's full and it just wants to come out. That when you're creative, you're not experiencing lack. When you're inspired, you're not experiencing lack. The feeling of inspiration is you're full, you're inspired. It's like you're full. Your lungs are full. And as if now you're inspired, you breathe out. And whatever you're creating is coming from that fullness. And it's expressing, we can say, those qualities that we are experiencing. They're not really qualities because it's actually our true nature, that really we're expressing that joy in the painting, perhaps. We're expressing that love in the cooking. We're expressing that peace in the guided meditation. We're expressing that freedom in the hike or the run or the dance. These are all just different examples. And we have these sayings that actually point to this, where we say, it's made with love. And there is a power that you're experiencing and that others can experience through this creation, that it has the ability to transmit the power from the source of that which it was created from. This is where we say things like, oh, your grandma's cookies are the best. It's like, why? Why is your grandma's cooking so good? We say things like, it's just made with, you can just taste the love in it. This is what I mean, is the meal is the creation, and it's as if it's transmitting that love because it's actually an expression of love. It quite literally is made of love. We point to this actually when we say things like, it resonates. We feel it. Or we say things like, that moved me. Well, we usually point to it when we say things like, I can really feel something when I'm listening to that music, or when I watch that person dance, or when I read that poetry, or when I taste that meal. When it's coming from that pregnant potential, the potentiality, and then it's actualized as that form of creation, whatever that is, whether it's this video, a garden, a dance, a song, a poem, a book, a meal, whatever it is, if it's more or less, we can say, created from that space, created while experiencing our true nature, it has a certain power to it, and it has the ability to take one to that source from that which it was created from. Grandma, cooking in the kitchen, and so much love is being expressed in the cooking, that quite literally whatever the meal is, it's made of love. The grandchildren eat the meal. Oh, this is the best. Grandma's cookies are the best. And it's just, I love my grandma. I love it. You're then experiencing that love. Via the cooking. It's as if that meal takes you back to the source from which it came from. So that you're then getting a taste of your true nature. And like this, you just find that this creativity just floods your life and just makes it more beautiful. Really, this love is creating beauty. And it has a way of touching the hearts of those around you. It has a way of inspiring others around you. It's a gift to those around you. There's the possibility to experience our true nature when they're receiving those gifts that we have created. That's why I always say that self-realization is the greatest gift to yourself, as well as the whole of humanity. This creativity is just one way that makes that possible. So it's great that you're experiencing that inspiration and that creative potential. And you find that the more you are surrendered to it, the more you simply allow it to express, the more beautiful you experience your life to be. Hopefully this helps. See you in the next one.